Hello, everybody. My name is Jeff Priest. My presentation is on technology in the hospitality industry. This is a topic I know a little bit about. My undergraduate degree in business, I specialized in both hospitality management and management information systems. I also worked for a hardware software company for about 3 or 4 years that specifically sold systems in this industry. So as we go along through the presentation, hopefully I can give you a little insight into my experience as well as an overview of some of the systems used in the industry. Types of hospitality technology. So I'm going to talk about two different types of systems. One primarily in a hotel setting, which is the property management system. A property management system, also known as a PMS or hotel operating system, is used in hospitality accommodation management. So runs the operations of your hotel. And I will talk about the brief history of these systems, features of a PMS system, and interfaces, what can send and or receive information from a PMS system. In the food and beverage setting, we have a point of sale system. Point of sale system is the term used for the combination of computer hardware and software that actually manages a sales transaction. And everybody's familiar with a point of sale, maybe at a grocery store, or retail outlet. It's a little different in a hospitality or food and beverage outlet. I'll point out some of the features of that. And we'll also talk about the history, the features, and interfaces of a point of sale system. We'll also want to talk a little bit about some of the latest hospitality innovation at the end. The history of the property management system dates back to 1946 when American Airlines first came out with a centralized reservation system for the airline industry. The reason I have this is because it's a precursor to what would become in 1973 Hilton developing the first centralized reservation system for its hotels. And not till the advent of personal computing, more in the 1980s, would you see property management systems really start to appear in hotels. And of course, today we have cloud-based PMS systems that allow for a single source to manage multiple properties at one time in one view in the cloud. Features of a PMS system. So a property management system can track and accept room reservations. A lot of this comes online or through different channels online. It can also track your room occupancy, so how full your hotel is. It can create and print and email hotel bills. It creates reports for a hotel, usually revenue reports, or what I would always hear in some of my classes for hospitality management is RevPAR, your total room revenue divided by all available rooms that you have out there. And you look at that because you always have those rooms whether they're taken up by a guest or not. PMS system can also track guest charges from different outlets, say a mini bar, and it can track guest preferences. Say I stay at a particular hotel, I like to have a really firm pillow when I stay there. They can definitely put that in my guest preferences so that when I stay there, they can have that when I check in. Interfaces with a property management system. So these are systems that can talk with a property management system, sending and or receiving information. We talked about the central reservation systems. So a central reservation being able to hold all the different reservations for a hotel chain. It can interface with that. Also with the yield management system. So this helps figure out the pricing for open hotel rooms that a hotel wants to sell and try to maximize revenue for those hotel rooms. Online booking engines, so this is your Orbitz, TripAdvisor, Travelocity, can interface with all those and manage reservations in one place. It can also interface with point of sale systems. This is your food and beverage, being able to have dinner maybe in a restaurant and charge that to a guest room. CRM systems, so we had a presentation about CRM a few weeks back, and in a hotel setting, maybe you would have a guest that stays at a hotel that's tracked in the PMS system that can feed to a CRM system for marketing purposes. Door locking systems, so these are your key cards that are set up to get in and out of guest rooms, can interface with the PMS system. Housekeeping optimization, what you might see now is a housekeeper that has a tablet that when they're cleaning rooms, they can essentially mark that room clean on a tablet. It feeds the property management system, allowing the front desk to know that that room is ready to be turned for the next guest. And then you have a PMS system that can also talk with TV and phone communications. So your pay-per-view, being able to take those charges or phone charges and calculate that on a hotel bill. Now we'll talk about point of sale systems. The history of the point of sale started back in 1879 by a man named James Ritty, who had a saloon in Dayton, Ohio. He was trying to stop his employees from pilfering his profits and came up with a cash register. This is kind of the most basic form of a point of sale system ever made. And there were several iterations of the Ritty. In 1906, a man by the name of Charles Kettering in Dayton, Ohio, created the first cash register with an electric motor, and he worked for a company called National Cash Register, or NCR, which is still around today, and they do sell point of sale systems. Not until 1978, a restaurateur by the name of Gene Marshall invented the first restaurant point of sale on an Apple computer. And today we have many different types of point of sale, also cloud-based point of sale, and you have options of hardware on a smartphone, tablet, and different types of workstations that are out there. I did a lot of Major League ballparks where we even had maybe a handheld device with a RF printer that we could be in the stands, take an order wirelessly, print the receipt wirelessly, and hand it right there to the guest, and then be able to run back or go back up the stands, grab the food, and bring it out to them. The features of a point of sale system. So a point of sale can track sales. It can take payments from a food and beverage outlet. It can also print checks and split checks. So splitting of the checks is a little bit different feature than you might see in any other point of sale system. It can send orders to the kitchen. It does your employee management time tracking, so logging in and logging out. It can help a restaurant take inventory and help reduce shrinkage by being able to forecast. Interfaces of a point of sale. So a point of sale system can interface with kitchen displays or printers in the kitchen. I did a lot of high-end hotels where we might have upwards of, say, 5 to 10 printers in a single kitchen. We'd have grill printers and a pastry printer, a dessert printer, a tea printer, a garde-manger, all different types of stuff, but a lot of different interfaces there. You also have a interface with a property management system. We talked about that, being able to send charges to guest rooms. And LDS is interesting. Ran into this several times in casino situations where you have a liquor dispensing system. There's an example on the right. Essentially, there's a gun, which maybe looks like a pop gun, and you put in the code. That gun then knows to pour the different types of liquor for whatever cocktail you're making, exactly poured, rings that up on a point of sale system to track the liquor that you're selling, and that's one interface there. You also have table management systems, which can track what tables you have open, maybe what stage of the meal, whether people are just having appetizer or they're maybe on dessert, and figuring out when those tables might turn. Security camera interfaces, I have an example to the right there as well. You would see this maybe also in a casino setting or high cash transaction setting where you have a cash drawer, and it takes a video feed as well as ringing up or showing on the video feed what items are being rung up on the point of sale. We'll talk a little bit about hospitality innovation here. So smartphone apps. Starwood has come up with a smartphone app that allows a guest to check in without visiting the front desk. When they do that, they also can use the NFC on their smartphone to allow the app to act as a key. And they're working on allowing guests to access other features to the app, whether it be concierge or room service. In wearables, Disney Magic Band is a great example. A Magic Band is essentially a wristband that Disney gives you when you visit the park. It acts as your ticket to the park. It can pay for food and merchandise and could also book theme rides at the park. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about disruptors in the sharing economy, namely Airbnb being the largest one. So Airbnb has really kind of shaken up the lodging industry, allowing individuals to rent their own space out. And in doing this, you can attract people who maybe don't want all the frills of a hotel, or maybe they want a little bit more of a local experience. And in this chart here, it just shows the market capitalization valuation of all the different major hotel companies out there. Most of this is from 2016. Airbnb was 2017, but you can definitely see Airbnb has the highest valuation of any of them. So it's really kind of shaken up the market. What I read about it was with Airbnb, they are now trying to get into allowing boutique hotels to advertise, or you can book through their site. They're trying to more focus on travel experiences. So it'll be interesting to see whether Airbnb is just going to take over the market, or will Airbnb be able to coexist with other hotels? This is just a quick picture of a hotel I did. This was the Ritz-Carlton Kapalua Bay in Maui, and I was out there for several weeks to help them set up a enterprise point of sale system. This is many years ago, and but in any case, I was out there, did that. Unfortunately, I spent a lot of my time here in Maui when I was out there, but just wanted to share a quick experience that I had out in the industry. I have a few questions here for discussion. I look forward to replying back to everybody, and I thank you for viewing.